Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. You're here because you want to learn about how to live a healthier life, how to live more sustainably, how to take your everyday actions and make them work for you and the planet. Sometimes it might feel like you've got this figured out, and other times you probably feel lost. That's why I'm here. Together, we will learn how to live happier, healthier lives without the need to be perfect, and always allowing space for a little cluelessness on this journey to living a more conscious life. Here we go. This podcast is supported by Parade Underwear. Parade believes that the materials that touch your skin should be as comfortable as possible, wherever life takes you. That's why their styles come in a large range of fabrics, from seamless universal that disappears under clothes to cozy waffles plush comfort that keep you comfy on every occasion. Parade understands that everyone deserves to express themselves however they choose because we're all unique. And Parade knows that there's no parade without our planet. They strive to make all of their products from reclaimed, recycled, responsible, renewable, or regenerative materials. This is really a win-win-win. I love Parade. I've been wearing them for a while now, and I can't recommend them enough. And of course, we love the mission. Use code consciously.carly for 20% off your first order. That's consciously.carly, consciously.carly. Enjoy your new undies. Okay, so today is about shifting your understanding of giving gifts. This is right smack dab in the middle of the holiday season, which means if you haven't already, you've probably felt a lot of pressure to spend money on presents and physical things for the people in your life. That is kind of our understanding in this capitalist world of the holiday season. It is a lot of presents. It is a lot of gifts. It is a ton of waste. Now that sounds very doom and gloom, but I think there's a way to shift our perspective and our understanding around gift giving to, 1, make it a better experience, 2, to make it cheaper, 3, to make it less wasteful, and there's probably 4, 5, and 6, and maybe we'll discover them along the way. But definitely the first 3. There's a few things that I think are important to kind of lay down as groundwork in this conversation, right? We are talking about consumption, basically, consumption of goods, consumption of things. Now, under our capitalist system, it is my belief that there is no ethical consumption. So that means that we can do all the right things. We can try our best if we have the privilege to make the best decisions. And we can do a good job. We can make a difference. We can put our money into places where we want it to go that are supporting things we want it to support. But at the end of the day, we are still all living and operating in an exploitive capitalist system. And that is not to say that this work isn't worth it, but it's to remind you that it's basically the idea of you can't be perfect in an unperfect system. You can't be perfectly sustainable in a system that is not set up for that. You can't be perfectly vegan in a food system that is not set up for that, etc., etc. You can't ethically consume under our capitalist system. So what that means is that we do our best if we have the privilege to put thought into this matter. A interesting thing that has just happened, depending on when you are listening to this, is the Thanksgiving holiday. Now, why I think the Thanksgiving holiday is a load of shit is a podcast episode for another day. But what comes with Thanksgiving usually are an inundation of emails and coupons and ads for Black Friday and subsequently Cyber Monday, which means lots of consumption, lots and lots of ads. There's this question that's been floating around, and I've talked about it on social media, but I think it's important to bring up in this conversation too. Can you ethically take part in Black Friday or these holiday deals or Cyber Monday? Again, if we go back to that first question, maybe 100%? No, because we live in a capitalist system. That's my take on it. However, you don't have to totally abandon, whether it's Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever new consumer holiday is created. You don't necessarily have to abandon it altogether. You can become smarter around it because there are still small companies or companies that are looking to change the model of consumption that might be trying to survive, right? They are trying to survive in a world that isn't built for them. If you are running a company or supporting a company that is trying to do something different, it's the same idea. They weren't set up in a world under ethical consumption either. So it is important to support when we can and when we need to the companies that are trying to do it different. So I don't think you have to totally avoid holiday sales or whatever it is in order to be more of an ethical consumer, but you can be wiser about your choices. So when it comes to how you think about gift giving, I think we first need to understand and remind ourselves that we all need less shit. There is no cute way to say that. We all need less stuff. We all probably could buy less, myself included. I am not above this critique. We all could be more mindful of the gifts we buy or we give. And I know that might sound like a lot, right? This isn't an overnight change. If you're listening to this and you're like, I just am barely surviving providing gifts for my family, I can't think about the ethical consumption of it all. I understand. Maybe this isn't where you start. But if this is something you can think about, let's think about why we're giving this gift to someone. Is it because we're obligated? Is it because we feel like we're supposed to give extravagant gifts every season to all the people in our life? Do you feel like you have to spend a lot of money? Are you buying something because it's at the sale rack and you forgot to give that person a gift? I mean, these are all questions that I think you can kind of guess the theme of, right? That get us to think a little bit more critically about why we're buying something. But I also want us to think a little bit more critically about why we give something. A gift is supposed to be special for that person. It is supposed to be something that will hopefully improve their life or their well-being or whatever it is, even if it just makes them laugh or smile. Maybe it's practical. I got a vacuum as a gift from my stepdad, and the joy it brought me was pretty monumental. I mean, it's a DeWalt vacuum and it goes with all my DeWalt tools, but I digress. Whatever it is, maybe you can start to think about gift giving a little differently. First of all, it's important to just have a conversation with people in your life that you normally exchange gifts with. Maybe you can talk to them and say, I'm looking to create less waste, or I'm looking to save money, or I'm looking to be more unique this holiday season. Are you in to kind of dive into that journey with me? And a lot of times people are feeling similar ways. We all feel this unnecessary pressure to buy and to consume and to give at rates that are outside of our means. So if you bring it up with people, sometimes you can actually take pressure off of others as well. So let's think about what we give as gifts. Let's realign ourselves a little bit in terms of what a gift can look like. A gift does not have to be expensive. Now, this is going to be corny, so stick with me, but a gift is really just supposed to be something from you to them. It doesn't need to be looked at with dollar signs or with extravagance. Let's look less at things for each other and more about experiences. So maybe it is a date night with a partner. Maybe it is going to dinner at a place you never go. Maybe it's a trip with a group of friends and you spend the same amount of money you would have on gifts. Maybe it's just a coffee date. Maybe you offer to give some of your friends that have kids a break and you have a coupon of babysitting nights. There are so many fun ideas. Pinterest is always my go-to place for inspiration of how to give gifts of experience instead of spending money on gifts that will either be returned, forgotten about, or are just a waste of your money. I'm not saying to take gift giving away completely. I love gifts. Let's not say that we're totally downing on Christmas or giving presents or whatever it is. But we can think a little bit more critically because the world we're in is calling for us to. So try and think about the experiences you can gift people and less about the things you can gift people. Now, if you are like, I don't want to gift, my best friend this year an experience. I was really hoping to get her a gift that helps her wind down because she's been really stressed, whatever it is. There are ways then to think a little bit more critically about your purchases. Again, this is a privilege, but if you have the privilege to be doing this, it's really imperative that we continue to do this work if we can. So you support those small businesses, you look at the business practices, you see that maybe they're not just greenwashing, but they're actually caring about the environment and their impact as a business in this world. You can make more ethical choices for your purchases, for the people in your life. You can find cool companies to support. You can find small companies on Etsy, whatever it is. Those gifts are probably more unique than what you can find at a big department store anyway. So not only should we re-examine our relationship to giving gifts and buying stuff that we don't need, but we can also think about it as a way to save money. We can think about it as a way to save the planet. It sounds like maybe how does my one gift giving impact that? And yes, your one act that day of buying from a small company isn't going to save the world. I wish it was. But it does make a difference. And it does help us stay in that mindset, and it may make others think differently as well. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you can just start to think about how you consume in general and maybe spark those conversations with the people in your life this holiday season, you might be surprised at how many other people are on board with rethinking this bogus capitalist system that makes us think we have to buy all this shit and spend money on other people in order to prove our worth. You are a good friend, a good parent, a good kid, whatever it is, if you don't spend a lot of money on presents. You are enough just the way you are. So find a way to uniquely share yourself and your talents and your skills with the people that you love this season and every time that you have to give a gift. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, put it on social media. Don't forget to tag me. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Good Pods, leave a review. Reviews and shares help more people to see the podcast and join in on the fun. If you want to make sure to stay up to date on future episodes, follow me at Consciously Carly on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Pinterest, and head to consciouslycarly.com to sign up for the newsletter. Ready for more conscious living content? Check out patreon.com/consciouslycarly and join the exclusive community over there. And finally, if you're ready to take better care of yourself and the world, let's work together. Click the link in the show notes to head to the website, find out more, and schedule a free discovery call with me. Chat soon! This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? By now, you all know that therapy is an important part of my own self-care. It has truly been a game changer in every aspect of my life, including achieving goals. BetterHelp is the largest online therapy platform worldwide. They are changing the way people get help with facing life's challenges by providing convenient, discreet, and affordable access to a licensed therapist. BetterHelp makes professional therapy available anytime, anywhere, through a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online. And I have a special offer for Consciously Clueless listeners. Visit betterhelp.com/Carly and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. By using this code, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/CARLY. Take care of yourself today. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.